Hey guys, I'm back. Happy Friday. Happy Fridays with Fidelman. I'm Cheryl Fidelman, the trauma and codependence coach. It's been several months since I posted a video, and I'm super psyched to be back. I took a break because a lot of you who are in the Trust Yourself Facebook group know that we did 16 master classes, and it was like 6 videos a day, and the Trauma to Truth master classes. We did so much deep work, and then I took a break because I was like, I don't know if I have any more content. It was just like churning out amazing, content and experiences with you guys every day. So now I'm back, and I have a free workshop on Sunday because I'm taking a leadership program and I'm learning how to lead workshops and use over the Zoom platform. Because like a lot of you know, I'm a bit technologically inept, so I'm learning how to use the Zoom platform, and I'm doing a free workshop on listening to test my Zoom skills this Sunday, the day after tomorrow, from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Link is down below. It's called Listen for a Living, 3 ways to love, live, and learn with your listening. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. On Sunday, we'll dive deep into the filters through which we listen. And of course, since my work is focused on codependence and trauma, because I believe that codependence is the most obvious way that we demonstrate our unhealed trauma in relationships, that from the point of view of my work, the filters through which we listen are trauma-based. So a lot of our traumatic experiences that we've had as children, trauma being a decision that our nervous system made in a given moment, in a given event, in order to keep ourselves safe, right? And then we move through life still trying to keep ourselves safe when we don't necessarily need to be protected or kept safe. We lose our natural tendency towards fight or flight because things that seem even remotely familiar to traumatic events from the past become something to protect ourselves from, including the way that we listen, the way that we mold the world, culture, the way that we receive information. For example, a long time ago, I put out a video on isness, right? Like, how do we know something is something? So we start to look at people in our lives like, oh, they are that way. He is that way. She is that way. And so then we start to listen to them through a filter of isness. And who's listening to us through a filter of isness, right? How are we molding people by the way we listen to them and the way that we respond to them, from preconceptions, from interpretations from the past, from things that maybe we don't forgive them forgive about, forgive somebody. I'm not sure what the follow-up word to forgive from. Or there's somebody in your life, I mean, I've done this so many times where there's people commit little mini crimes. Crime is a big word, but maybe it's just something that didn't rub me right. So I start to listen to them. I tag on filters through which I'm listening. And so my listening is molding them into somebody that I think that they are. So we're going to go over our filters, our interpretations, how we can release our filters and how the releasing of filters can cause a depth of connection, and how we may want to hold on to our filters for dear life, right? And oftentimes, when it comes to codependence, which is what I talk about the most and what we're in discussion about the most, is my 3 tenets of codependence, which are the want to be wanted, the need to be needed, and or the need to prove oneself. So when we talk about listening, this is another thing we'll go over on Sunday. When we think we need to be heard, Codependence gives us a set of needs that we think we get convinced they're real needs, and they're not. I need to be heard. I need to be gotten. I need to be understood. I need to be seen. I need this person to need me. I want this person to want me. And those needs start to become as important as Maslow's hierarchy of needs: survival, food, shelter, and then as you go up the pyramid, self-actualization. So, so these needs, we get convinced that they're needs because we want to know that we're safe with somebody. So we'll beg somebody to hear us for years. You're not hearing me, 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 right? And then somebody, your partner or your colleague or your family member, I hear you, no, I hear you. And really, I think what's underneath, and this is another thing we'll go over on Sunday, what's underneath the you don't hear me is really you don't feel me. You're not getting the music, the mood, the energy, the emotion that surrounds the words that I'm saying. Somebody may hear the words, but they don't hear the music. You're not feeling like you're being energetically gotten or resonated with. So, and then there's different categories. Reading my notes because I have a lot of notes for the outline of the workshop on Sunday. And then there's, how do we listen to different categories? How do we listen to family? How do we listen to politics? How do we listen to our favorite artists? With our listening, who do we validate or not validate? Who do we raise as like somebody that we look up to, and how do we develop the criteria for somebody that we look up to? When we listen, also how we listen is a reflection of how we feel in front of that person. So are you with somebody and you're feeling like your default? So in my work, I call the loudest voice of your unhealed trauma your default. The loudest voice of your youngest unhealed trauma is your default. And if that is being triggered, like the need to hide, or you feel ugly, or you feel not worthy, if somebody triggers that protection mechanism, then you're listening to yourself, because we're also listening to ourselves. We're listening to other people, and then we're listening to the interpretation of ourself and our identity with that person, how you feel with that person or group of people. And then all of these things are shaping how we're interacting, how we hear them, how we hear ourselves, how we're molding and shaping what they're saying, juxtaposed with what they look like and the energy that they're saying it with. And then we have all of these mechanisms that are interpreting how we're being and how we should be. Right? If you ever start listening to yourself and you're like, you shouldn't be like that. You should be some other way that keeps the peace here, doesn't rock the boat, or you feel offended, right? We start to get offended, and then we start speaking in a different way, and then we start to wonder, what's my identity in this conversation with this person? I want to land one other point so you have even more of an idea of what's happening in the workshop on Sunday. Yes, conflicting intentions. You're talking to somebody, you're having a conversation, and oftentimes we don't even know what the other person's intention is. Their intention might be, hear me, I want you to hear me, and then our intention is to talk about ourselves. You ever be in a conversation? I'm guilty of this. I do it all the time, and I'm trying to quit. I'm kind of addicted to it. I'm trying to quit. Where, I've used in these videos the example of the red sweatshirt. Like I'll tell somebody, hey, I just bought this red sweatshirt. And somebody else will go, well, let me tell you about my red sweatshirt. And then they start talking about their red sweatshirt. And you never even get your story out because the first sentence reminds them of something that happened to them. And then they take the talking baton, right? And I've done that as well. When do we listen through the filter of when does this apply to me? When does this apply to me? When does this apply to me? So, okay. So that's sort of an overview of what we're going to go over on Sunday, 4 p.m. It's a completely free workshop. I'm not going to make any offers. I'm not going to try to sell you something. I'm not going to try to get your information. It's a free workshop where we're getting a lot of awesome work done. It will be recorded for training purposes so that I can look back on it, because it is my training piece to teach me how to use the Zoom platform so I could do many more workshops, because in these months that I haven't been posting, I've just come up with so much material that I'm going to be launching out to you guys next year. It's the end of the year, guys. Amazing. All right. I love you. Thank you. Come to the workshop on Sunday. It's free, 4 p.m. Pacific to 6:30 p.m. Pacific, Sunday, this Sunday. Zoom link is below. Register for free, and you just register for like a free $0 ticket, and then you'll get prompts, for when it's going to begin. All right, happy healing, guys. You are awesome, and life is now. And we're back. Fridays with Fidelman. Bye.